How about, sure.
Yeah, because that'll help me a little bit.
Okay.
I've been playing music my whole life, so that was always the thing that I always knew I was gonna do, and it just came very naturally, and I've had an immense love for it, and but it was funny because it really wasn't until I really fell in love with God that it took on a very specific purpose, and I think really what it's taught me, I think, is that without the love of God in your life, you're really not, it's hard to find your purpose, because you have gifts and talents and you want to use them, and you want to do the best that you can, whether it's in school or a career or whatever, but it's like at the end of the day, are you doing it just so you can, for the sake of doing it well, or are you doing it just so you could make a bunch of money, so you could buy a bunch of stuff that you can't take with you when you die? And so it's just at the end of life, it's like, well, what are you living for, really? At the end of the day, are you just living for yourself? And I think for me, I just found that was just a really flat answer, that there had to be something more to live for than just myself, and it had to be more than just an ideology. It had to be more than just a philosophy, because even those things really at the end of the day really aren't enough to motivate somebody to just completely give away their life for something. And so it had to really end up being about a person, and that's Jesus. And I think what's happened since then is that I've had such an amazing life so far, and I feel like I've only even started. And but I think along the way you encounter characters and people and stories, and I think definitely for me, one of the people that's been one of the most influencing is St. Francis. And I had the opportunity to go to Assisi in 2000, and just got to see the grounds and where he lived and the simplicity of his life. And you really get a sense of, here's a guy who is young, attractive, very wealthy, very, had everything going for him, and basically all that the world had to offer at that time. And here he has this conversion experience, and he finds himself basically more and more drawn to just give it all up. And only the love of God could be something that would create such a radical response that inevitably, if you know the story, you would find yourself naked in the middle of the town square with not a stitch of clothing on, because you've given literally everything up. And you say, I can now truly say that God is my Father. And that kind of reckless abandonment to the will of God and to the love of God, to me, is very inspirational. I'm going to keep my clothes on, I've decided. But I think it's definitely inspirational that I think just the human race is called to live with that kind of passion and that kind of zeal. And I think everybody wants to. And but it's like, to do it just for your own self-gratification or just the pursuit of pleasure, it's just, at the end of the day, I think anybody could agree, it's irresponsible, and it's selfish, and it's self-destructive. And so I think for me, now at this point, with the music that I have and the faith that I have, I'm just trying to live out my faith, and along the way, kind of observe the world around me and write songs that sort of represent different things that I see, or different things that I'm going through. And really, it's just that simple. It's I think I'm just trying to love God, and He gave me the ability to sing, so I guess I should just use it.
Thank you.